everybody, I'm Dr. Haffizulla and you are in the kitchen with Dr. H. Today I'm making a beautiful dish. It's Arroz Amarillo con Pollo, or yellow rice with chicken. Now, arroz con pollo is one of the most popular and beloved dishes in Cuba and throughout many other Latin American countries. This is an ultimate one-pot meal. It's filled with aromatic ingredients and comforting taste, particularly the Cuban variation of this delicious dish, which is known for its deeply vibrant flavor, thanks to a hearty helping of spices. Now, an essential ingredient in what I'm using today is annatto. It's a name close to my heart since my own husband is from Annatto Bay in Jamaica. That area was named because of the abundance of annatto trees in that area. Now, the seed or extract of the achiote tree, that's what annatto is. It's indigenous to Central, South America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. Now, the seeds and the pulp have been used for hundreds of years for many purposes in Latin America and beyond, as a dye, medicine, and as an ingredient in many foods. It has a naturally intense hue that can range in color from yellow to dark orange when used as a dye, although the seeds are a deep, bright orange red. Many dishes in Central and South America, such as arroz con pollo, use annatto for its distinct yellow color. Now, annatto is also used to color soups, stews, and spice rubs. I hope you're hungry. Let's get cooking together. Everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Dr. Haffizulla and you are in the kitchen with Dr. H. Well, you know, we've been traveling around the Caribbean and South America, country by country, celebrating dishes. So today I'm very excited to highlight Cuba, a dish that I love having. It makes me feel so happy and comforted. It reminds me of my own Trinidad pilau. Okay, so today we're making Arroz Amarillo con Pollo, which is a yellow rice with chicken. And we're pairing that with the Cuban mint mojito. Well, listen, look at the spread we have here. Come on, let's get busy and start cooking. So here's my pot. It's already on medium heat. I could feel that beautiful warmth coming from the pan. So what we're going to start with first is we're just going to start making the chicken first. We're going to put some extra virgin olive oil right into our pan, let that warm up. This is about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons or so forth. I like to use sort of a seasoned oil that you want to pack flavor everywhere you can. You realize that you don't actually need too much salt. You don't need any additives or preservatives because the spices and the seasonings are going to carry the dish. The flavor in there is just going to warm your soul and want you to come back for more, right? So I'm gonna just let this oil just sort of spread out a little bit in my pan. You can always just shift your pan around a little bit. Make sure that there are no hot spots in here, that everything is sort of evenly distributed. And while that is warming up, I did marinate my chicken early, okay? You look at it, it has this beautiful hue of yellow in it already. That comes from the turmeric that I put in there, as well as some other seasonings. I put garlic powder, onion powder, some oregano in there, a little bit of cilantro is in here. Any seasonings that you have available, and you realize, again, you don't need too much salt. There is a little bit of salt and pepper in here, but we've controlled that salt, right? And I am using chicken thighs because they are going to add that juiciness, the tenderness, and the moistness to this dish. So of course, everybody's got their own version of this particular dish, but this is a shout out to all Cuban families, Cuban grandmas, Cuban moms, Cuban dads, anybody making this dish is for you. It's just my Trini-ized version of it. Another thing you can do, at least from me with my background, you could use a touch of curry powder blend. It has a turmeric in there, it has a cumin in there already. So it's already going to flavor and color the meat for you. So let's just go ahead. The pan should be nice and hot. You hear that sizzle? Just pop in those chicken thighs, just evenly spreading them out. And what I love about this dish as well, it's another one-pot meal. Aside from the prep, you see all of the little pans over there, you're really making all of this inside one dish. Use a nice big pan. You can spread things out. This dish also reminds me of paella, you know, any of the rice dishes across the Caribbean. We've already cooked several of them. And I'm going to teach you a little trick as well. You can use different kinds of rice, or you can use a cauliflower rice, which you can make yourself, by sort of grating down your own cauliflower itself. Just let all of that get right into your pot, okay? Let that cook down. We want it to sort of brown a little bit on each side. I'm going to increase the heat just slightly here to get that going. And I like to make sure, just for food safety, when I'm using the raw chicken, I have a different color pair of the tongs compared to the tongs that I would use when that chicken is already cooked. So if you notice, I have black and red going on here, just so I can keep track for myself to make sure that we don't get any of the germs from the raw chicken itself on any of the other stuff. So let that sizzle and cook down for just a minute on that side. And I'm going to show you what else we're going to add into this dish. So the chicken is going to cook down most of the way first, but then we're going to set that aside. And in the same pot, that is where we're adding all of our other ingredients, right? And I did tell you, not only are we using rice in this dish, but we're mixing in a little bit of grated cauliflower into the rice. Believe me, you would not even know it's there, but it adds so much fiber. It adds that fullness factor, and you wouldn't even know that it's there. And it gets colored in the same way. Another item that we're going to use today is the bihol seasoning. We made our own bihol seasoning. I know that this is a seasoning that is typically used in many of the Latin American countries and in all of these dishes to color the food. So the main ingredient in here is annatto, the annatto seed or annatto powder, and you can mix that with a little cumin. You can even add in a little bit of turmeric. If you just put equal parts of all of those things, so maybe you could put 3/4 of the annatto powder and then about 1/4 of the cumin and 1/4 of the turmeric, keep it and store it in a dry place, then you don't need to buy it. Sometimes the seasonings that we buy in the store have preservatives, or they use colors and dyes, and we don't want that. Nope, this is our one body, our chance to be healthy and well, right? So let's see how our chicken is coming along. And we're going to make sure that I'm going to use the same pair of tongs because the chicken is still on the raw side. Okay, we're going to move that around a little bit in here. And if you can smell the kitchen, the seasonings from the chicken wafting in the air. This is again how I get all of my kids out of their rooms. I just start to cook. Once I start to cook, everybody comes out of their rooms, and the kitchen is really the center of the family house. So let us move this around a little bit. You're seeing that some of the water is coming out of there. I want it to kind of crust a little bit on one side. And this pot is a non-stick pot. I love using that, so I don't have to worry about not only my chicken sticking, but things burning, right? So let's just turn up the heat a little bit. We're going to let that heat up and cook down a minute, and then we're going to flip the chicken in a second and move it off to the side. So we're going to be right back. Once this is ready, we'll take it to the next step. See you in a little bit.
Jack
Hi.
was feeling kinda... So he stopped by the CVS Health Hub,
Welcome.
where our provider ran some tests and realized that he needed help to manage his diabetes.
Whoa.
So we recommended a doctor,
Thanks.
worked with his insurance, and got him on medication. And our care concierge
Me again.
helped him find the right gear.
Bye.
Experience healthier made easier at a CVS Health Hub near you.
Okay, everybody, we are back, and wow, our chicken is heated up nicely. I've already flipped it over to the next side. Look how gorgeous that color is. And I've changed my pair of tongs because this chicken is almost cooked, right? So I'm not using the raw chicken tongs anymore. So we're going to move this around a little bit. This looks ready to come out of the pot, right? And then we can introduce the rest of our ingredients. So at this point, it's going to cook the rest of the way once we add it back into the pot. So don't worry. We're going to make sure that it has a chance to finish the process of cooking fully. But we want it to absorb those juices from some of the seasonings. So we're going to take it now and just put it all into a bowl on the side. And we'll see how beautiful that yellow color is. Stunning, right? That's part of not only the yellow rice, but the chicken color that pairs well with these gorgeous seasonings. And you see all the juices at the bottom of my pan? That is going to serve as a base for some of the other ingredients that we're going to add to this, right? And then this is just my version of it. Everybody, you'll have their own version of it. Every family, every Cuban family, any family making their Arroz Amarillo con pollo will make it different. And you may have different proteins that you want to use as well. So to that, we're going to add in our onions, straight in. I have a chopped white onion here. I'm going to cook that through a little bit on high heat. Just let it absorb all of those juices and seasonings. Look at it, it's already turned beautiful yellow for us, right? And to that, we're going to add in some garlic. All of that chopped garlic in there. That looks beautiful. I'm just going to let my onions get a little bit more translucent. If you keep it on high heat, just kind of keep stirring it around, making sure it has a chance to network with the other onion pieces in there, right? You can add in some of your other spices right now, right? Remember, I already seasoned the chicken, so it has already some heavy flavors going on in there. But you can start to season this up a little bit too. I'm going to add in a little bit, not all of my cumin right now, just a little bit more of my cumin. Here, the rest will go in once the chicken returns to the pot. We're going to add in our red bell peppers. You can use any bell pepper that you have, red, orange, yellow. I always have all the different colors here with me. And then we're going to be adding some of our coloring agents. And that will be in the form of our tomato sauce. And read those labels carefully. If you're buying your own tomato sauce from the grocery store, you want to make sure that they did not add any sugar to it, no preservatives in there. That is literally just tomato sauce. Sometimes they add in some salt. So just make sure. Oh, the colors are coming together, everybody. Wish you could smell the kitchen. It's so good. Okay, now that that's cooking down, it looks as though my onions have gotten to where I need them to go. The bell peppers are cooking down nicely. I'm going to actually add my chicken right back into the pot. Right here. Just add it all in, juices and all. Right into it. Let that toss around a little bit, right? Leave my pair of tongs in there. And now we're going to add in some of our other important ingredients to make this richer and deeper in color. This is a tomato sauce, okay? Just add just a drizzle of that all around. Keeping it on high heat at this moment, right? We're going to add in a little bit of our vegetable stock. I have like a low sodium veggie stock here. You might notice that the pot will quiet down a little bit, especially if this is not a hot stock. So if you don't want that to happen, you can always just kind of keep a pot nearby that has stock in it warming, so it's about the same temperature. So we're going to let this sort of come right back up to where it needs to go. And now it's very red in color, right? We're going to add in our homemade bijol seasoning that has the annatto powder in there, it has cumin in there, and it has a little bit of turmeric. Okay? Just add that straight in. Now, more than anything else, now the cumin adds an earthiness. The turmeric does too, to some degree, but it also adds a little bit of color. And the annatto itself, really is not only rich in color, but it has some other beautiful benefits. It's a very healthy ingredient to add in. You don't need coloring, you don't need food dyes or anything like that. This is a natural coloring agent from a beautiful plant. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So let this cook down. I want it to start to bubble up a little bit. Look how beautiful that color is. Now, for the rice choices, you have a couple of different options, right? You can use like a long grain rice. You can use a short grain rice. You could use brown rice, parboiled brown rice. If you use parboiled brown rice, you'll find that the cooking time is much less, right? Because it's already pre-cooked for you. So what I like to do sometimes is soak my rice, and I have like some white rice here, soaked in a little bit of turmeric water, has a touch of salt in there, and a little bit of olive oil to keep the grains of rice from kind of clumping together, right? So that is sitting over here on this side. I'm going to move this over here a second, and let's stir that rice around a little bit. It's just raw rice, it's not pre-cooked or anything like that. It's literally been soaking, and you look at the color of that, see? It's nice and yellow already, right? So every which direction we turn, we're making sure that we add the coloring parts to this dish. This looks delicious. Look at the colors in here. That is gorgeous. Look at the red bell peppers and so forth. Now what I'm going to do before I even add my rice in, you could add the cauliflower rice in here, because then it's going to soak up some of that liquid as well. Just a little bit of the cauliflower rice in there. Just enough in there. I'm going to add in the rest of my seasonings now. So I have some nice coarse oregano. Just throw that straight in. And then the rest of my cumin is also going to go in. At different time points, you want to taste for seasonings, see if you need to add any additional salt and pepper. So I always try to have some tasting spoons nearby, right? Some clean ones. So if I'm digging into that pot, the one that I've used goes out and I use a different one, right? Every single time. And I know I like to use those tasting spoons often. So let us let this kind of come together nicely. Oh, this smells incredible. You can see some of the bubbling happening at the bottom again. I'm gonna let it get back to that point. Stay on high heat. All right, now it's about ready to accept that rice that's been soaking, right? We've used all of our other ingredients. Now I did put a little bit of turmeric on the side in case I need to use a little bit extra. I always have it handy. And then we're also going to be adding in 2 bay leaves into this dish. Let me just drop them straight in, just like that. Now at the very end, once our rice is cooked, that's when you could add your peas or so forth. So here's my rice. I'm adding it in so it gets a chance to not just join the party, but this is what makes it the Arroz Amarillo, right? The rice itself. I'm going to reserve the water in case I need it, but I'm literally using a slotted spoon. It's about 1.5 cups of rice. Just depends on how many people you want to feed. This is the dish that keeps on giving, because as you know, the rice itself will more than double sometimes, right? And we don't want it to overcook. So here we go. Rice is added in, just like that. Okay. And we want to make sure that we cover the lid here, but want to make sure that the rice is immersed just enough, right? So you'll find that there's just a little bit of a layer of liquid that just tops off your rice, because this rice is going to absorb all of the liquid in here, or most of the liquid in here. Here we go. That's absolutely beautiful. And the bay leaves, they're in there, but they can come out at the very end, right? Look at that. Okay, so here, let's just see how much liquid we have left, okay? I'm thinking, let us definitely add in a little bit more liquid. You could choose to add veggie broth or always have some water nearby. You can add a little bit of water to this and just let it start to cook down. You can always add in a little bit more water or more veggie stock as you need to, just to make sure that you see that. I like this right here. This is immersed just enough for me. All right, while we let this start to cook together, we're gonna make sure we cover this lid here. It's gonna steam cook, and I love a lid that I can see right through. We're gonna be making a delicious, refreshing drink, right? To pair up with this beautiful Arroz Amarillo con pollo, right? We are going to be making a Cuban mint mojito. Look at that. I have my glass ready, everybody, okay? And I put a little lime and a little mint on the top. I put some mint leaves on the very bottom. Very simple to make. So what we have here is some crushed ice with some mint leaves on the top, right in here. I'm going to just take a stirrer that I have, just kind of push that together a little bit, just get it to sort of come together. You really don't need to muddle the leaves too much. I'm just trying to break apart the ice, okay? So once we have that, as far as a sweetener goes, I don't like to use refined sugar or any granulated sugar. One of my favorite things to use, as you probably know from previous episodes, is date sugar, right? You can literally make this yourself. If you just took dates, cut them in half, took the seeds out, dry them in your oven for a long time until they're rock hard, and then pulverize it into a powder. You will make this, and it is the healthiest way to sweeten any of your dishes or drinks. And you actually have fiber in there because it's a whole date. Nothing else but the date is in here, right? And so if you see a little residue on the bottom of your drink, it's because of the date fibers that's in there. Really great for your body. So I'm going to add in the date sugar in a little bit after I add in some freshly squeezed lime. I'm just going to pour that straight in. I actually like to add a little bit of lime zest into my drink. So you just take your zester and you're typically going to just scrape the outside of your lime. And just like that, that adds just another level of flavor. That beautiful rind just adds another zestiness to your drink, right? So do this to limes that have not been cut yet. It's much easier. It's a little harder if you're using lime that's already been cut. So we're just gonna put that right in there. This lime could be used for something else a little bit later, right? So we just have our lime juice in here, a little bit of crushed ice. I will be adding some sparkling water to this, but for now, let's just mix this together. Give it a shake. That gets the mint sort of infused. Now we're gonna add in just a little bit of that date sugar, just as much as you'd like as far as how sweet you'd like your drink to be. This is again a healthy sweetener. So let us keep that going. Shake, shake, shake. Put your music on and let's get carnival style right in the kitchen. It's a good way to combine your fitness, your exercise, work your arms out, get your body moving, help your core stay in shape, right? Oh my gosh, I think that this is a one part of the cooking, actually all the things that we're doing that the kids fight over, right? Is to do the shake, shake, shake. You do this with your salad dressings and everything else. So look at that. That is beautifully mixed together. Look at the color on that. That is just from the date sugar. Now notice I did not add in the sparkling water yet because the sparkling water has bubbles. You don't want to create a little pressurized container that'll pop, right? So let us do this. We are now looking at that. It looks ready to go. We're going to pour this right into my glass that's already prepared with the lime garnish and the mint, just like that. Just enough to cover the bottom. Just see, just like that, just enough. That's all that we need because the rest of the way, we're going to pour sparkling water right on top. It is so refreshing and easy. And I have some sparkling water right here. And that's going to take it the rest of the way. Just like that. All the way up. And my lime is on the side. My mint leaves are in there. And let me tell you guys, look at that. This is for you. A Cuban mint mojito. Oh, you know I've got to try a little bit. Looks as though I poured it all. So I'm going to just take a quick sip. Just hits the spot. And you know your sparkling water, read it carefully as well. Make sure they didn't add any salt into it. This is pure sparkling water, okay? You can use anything else, but that dilutes out the rest of this so you get that lime background, you get the mint, you get the date sugar, but you get the bubbles that just add extra sparkle to your life.
Special thanks to our sponsors: Aetna CVS Health, American Heritage School.
Looking at our pot, that dish is looking pretty amazing already. It's bubbling up nicely. We're going to just give it a bit of a reveal and see where we are. Look at that. Beautiful. Give this a nice stir. Oh my goodness, this has come together beautifully. Look at the rice cooking down. It's almost there. And look, Arroz Amarillo con Pollo, everybody. Our yellow rice with chicken dish is almost ready. It smells incredible. Now I'm going to just, I know that the rice needs a little bit more cooking, but I want to taste this. Let's make sure that the seasonings are right. Okay, so I have a little tasting spoon over here. Let's just try it for seasoning. Because I want this to continue to cook while I try it. Let's just see. Wow, guys. It needs nothing. It tastes amazing. The rice just needs to cook down all the way. So you have to remember, the chicken was already seasoned, right? The flavors from all of those herbs and other spices that we added really brought this up to a whole new level. So you don't need any flavoring cubes in there at all. And remember, we soaked our rice in like a turmeric water with a little olive oil and a touch of salt. Just that alone helped you to bring in the flavor without ever having to add any of those flavoring cubes or additional salt. So this is almost ready to plate. I think that in just a few minutes, we'll come right back and this dish will be ready for us, okay? Well, everybody, we are back. Look at this pot. Look how gorgeous this is, and I wish you could smell it with me. It's just inviting me right in, inviting you hopefully right in as well. Everything has come together beautifully. We have one final step, and that is adding in my delicious green peas. Okay, you can use frozen green peas. Literally sprinkle it in, just like that. Look at the color. Oh, against a beautiful yellow background with the red peppers in there. Oh, just give it a nice stir. The peas are already cooked, right? They're frozen peas. So you're just letting it just say hello to everybody in that pot, right? And now, oh, that dish is ready. Remember, this pot is nice and hot. So those peas are frozen. If you leave them out like I did for a little bit, they're no longer frozen, right? They're just really ready to just mix right in. And now I'm gonna plate this so you can see what we have made together, ready for you to enjoy. So I have a nice bowl right here. You could use a wooden spoon, or I'm gonna actually use sort of a ladle so I can get some nice dollops of chicken and rice in here. Look at that, how beautiful that is. Ah, coming together gorgeously. Beautiful. Now I'm trying to avoid the bay leaves that are in there. You could leave those in your pot. We're going to just top it off. You see we have some chicken in here. You could use any other protein that you'd like. Look how beautiful this is. Such a stunning dish. And again, this is a one-pot meal you can make for your family and friends as they're coming over. They will keep coming back for more. Your house will be the house that they want to have all of the festivities in, right? Look at that. That's it. All done. Beautifully laid out in there. And you see the gorgeous green peas. I'm going to put a couple more of those studded on the top. And a lot of times you can actually top off this dish with some beautiful roasted bell peppers, which I have right here. You can do these yourself ahead of time. You literally put some in the middle, just like that. Adds a nice little touch to it, just at the very top or around the sides. Complements the bell pepper that's already in there. You can use a different color if you choose to. Just move this around a little bit in here. And I'm going to top it off. It almost looks like a flower. We're going to top it off with a little bit of cilantro, fresh cilantro, right in the middle, just like that. And there we have it, guys. Arroz Amarillo con pollo, or yellow rice with chicken. And we have paired it with our delicious Cuban mint mojito. This is to you, everybody. Wishing you good health and a long life. See me soon. Extra virgin olive oil is packed with health benefits. It's actually packed with plant polyphenols that reduce inflammation, fight cancer, and promote cardiovascular health. It also helps your immune system and promotes brain health. It may also help regulate blood sugars and help you lose weight. Now let's talk also about annatto. It's been linked to several potential health benefits, such as healthy eyes, better heart health, and reduced inflammation. It may also have antioxidant, anti-cancer, and antimicrobial properties. Enjoy adding these healthy ingredients to your next dish.